We're going to go back to the day in the life now, and now imagine that we're talking about marketing ourselves. And we mentioned the programs we use, direct mail, Canva, all those things. Well, we've taken our attempt to rebuild all those things for real estate. And let's take a look at what that might look like in the day in the life. All right. So the first thing we did is we've actually rebuilt Canva into Command. And one of the cool things is everyone here at MegaCamp is now invited into the Command lab. So as soon as we leave here, you guys will all get start playing with this stuff. Now, the Canva was really important because that's what we're seeing a lot of real estate agents use. The problem with Canva is it's not connected to anything. It doesn't know your listings. It doesn't know your profile, your headshots. It doesn't know your team branding. It doesn't know any of the things that make us. So you have to go redo that. And I heard you say that earlier. And you actually have someone whose full-time job is managing Canva, then taking that asset and sending that over to the direct mail component. Yes?
Yes.
Now, you weren't. How involved are you in the lab on the Canva? I don't remember. Is this news to you?
My mind is like racing right now of like, okay, what came to my mind watching this is, so you create something for one of your listings, right, in the system, in Command, and it's there, and the seller is also there too, and they could see all, like, wouldn't that be awesome?
And guess what? You could send it out that day. You could send the postcard out that day.
No, but the seller, right now, our sellers don't have access to see all that we're doing for them in Canva.
So,
are we starting to have a lab right here?
Yeah, so hold that thought because we have some more stuff we're doing here. So yes, so one of the cool things you see here is these are actual campaigns that we've been building inside of we call it Sketchhouse, but inside of Sketchhouse, which is our Canva that takes all your assets. So you have these assets that live here. Now, the cool part about our Canva, our Sketchhouse, is that this actually understands how to market itself. So this one asset you make, whether it look like this or this, it understands that Command knows that. And when you want to go market this on social media, it changes it for you. And it already knows your social media accounts because you've already connected them. Or you want to do a direct mail piece, it understands that how you need to change the asset to that and does it for you. Or if you want to email it, it already integrates with MailChimp. So you build assets, and you have your marketing team just build beautiful assets, and then you let all the integrations and all the understanding of the channels, let Kelle Cloud take all that functionary work off your plate. Does that make sense?
I want to talk about like specific use example of this because I think this is so cool. Let's say you do just listed, just sold cards, right? And you constantly tweak and you're using A and B templates to test which one's getting a better result. Well, those templates are automatically saved, right? So now you've got the basic templates that are in there. You're not paying for a custom version of Canva. The high resolution photos are already in KWLS, and you're connecting to public record information, so you're not having to buy mailing lists. You're not having to do every door direct mail.
All right, so let's watch a couple of these campaigns.
Sure.
So this is an animation loop that basically walks through going through and building a campaign. And this shows you how hard or easy this is, where you come in, you name your campaign. I'm going to do this for Google AdWords. I'm going to stop there really quick because one of the things we're doing is Kelle in the underneath is watching all of our algorithms. And so it's going to be able to make suggestions to you that says, hey, promoting this listing in this area, the front photo of the house gets a 17% better click-through rate than the kitchen. Or at this price point in this area, it's the opposite. So we're gonna be able to give you those insights because we are collectively making the engine smarter. And that's what you were talking about, Gary, at Family Reunion, when you said, we now gotta go win the data share war.
That's right.
And so you go through, you simply pick your listing, confirm everything. We put the auto defaults based off the photos of the listing that we know and all the algorithms behind it and said, this is what we recommend. Do you agree? You can override every setting, change it. We do all the photos from the MLS. We take the descriptions. We build the landing pages for it. And we basically say, do you agree? Do you like that? When you say yes, you come through. And we then go send it. And then we give you an integrated dashboard that says, here's how you're promoting across Google, across Facebook, across direct mail, and here's how those campaigns are working for you all in one different places. Because right now, even our most sophisticated teams, you still have to go to independent sources to look. I got to go to Google Analytics. I got to go to Facebook. I got to go look at my landing pages, talk to my marketing, and kind of do this guessing game. Well, we can do that same work for you, but have a lot more confidence in that.
How do you track impressions to close right now?
Don't. I mean, maybe click through or registration to close you can get through, but getting to impressions is really, really tough. The other thing about this too is you can do this in-house and it takes a ton of time and a ton of effort, or you can pay somebody to do it, which is great, but then you give them $1 and they actually spend 67 cents on advertising, right? Like this actually does it for you with computer analytics, which are better response rates than what you're gonna do, even if you spend your full day doing it, and you get 100% of your ad spend going to the ad spend.
100%, no commission, no cut. Now, you use, so you use, we talked about your guys' direct mail programs. Lot of convoluted systems. I got to take it out of here. I got to take it out of there. I got to go create the flyers. I got to do all that. Yeah. So this is what we imagine that to look like. And by the way, people can start playing with this right now because you're all in the lab as officially as of now. So you come in. I'm doing a just listed campaign. I'm going to say I'm going to do a direct mail part of that. I pick it from KWLS. I upload a hero shot. I'm uploading my photo. I'm uploading my team logo. It gives me, I'm going to pause it really quick. We just went out, the place marker on the right is the listing. We then use public data and drew a circle around that listing so that we understood the sphere. You got to decide how many homes you want to target. If you slide the slider down or up, the circle gets smaller or bigger. Here's the cool part. It doesn't have to be a circle. We're also about to put all the neighborhood data on top of it so you can literally just click the different neighborhoods you want to be targeting. You can also change the filters.
Hey Josh, where's the thumb so I can gauge, like, where's that on here?
Exactly. The other filters you can have is you can say, I only want to do a direct mail piece to people that have sold a home, the last sale in that home was at least 5 years ago, or whatever that might be, or by square footage or year built. Once you do that, you go through, you change these filters. As you change these filters in real time, it's changing the circle and changing the size. When you're done and you got it all locked in how you want it, you hit play. And it basically, I accidentally just restarted the loop. It pulls the templates together inside our sketch house, and that within 30 minutes of you hitting submit, those are being printed and shipped, and you're going to get a version of that sent to you as a proof and to your client as a proof of the direct mail you just did. And so now, doing the direct mail campaign went from multiple people, multiple days, to you can literally do it in less than 5 minutes. And you guys can all start playing with this immediately and giving us feedback and making it better.
Josh, the other thing that we talked about is if we were talking about we want to be able to brand our agents on newsletters and postcard campaigns, well, now those can be merge fields. So instead of us having to do 20 different versions of the card, we have one different version of the card with here's agent photo, here's agent's name, here's agent's contact info, and then we can assign that to their segment of the database. So now the clients that they've worked with are getting the card that is branded to them, and it's all mailed out without us ever having to get outside of Command. Yes.
And we built this in about 30 days because we had that platform. And the reason why is because when we got our top people, direct mail was a burden. It was really important to your business. You all were doing it at a high level, and it was not scaling with your company.
Yep. And
so one of the ways, again, is our hypothesis, is if we can give you back time, money, energy that you're providing at the functionary. and drive that operational complexity and cost down, then you're going to be able to go take more market share. And so that's why we prioritized this about 30 days ago, and you guys are all going to get to go break it and tell us how to make it better.
Yeah, to Aaron's point, like MailChimp specifically for us, 32 agents, anytime we would send out a market update email, we would have to do that 32 times. We would replicate the same email 32 times. It would take our marketing director a full day to do that. And now we can do it in under 10 minutes. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. Now, what you were getting at, Sarah, is imagine showing this to the seller. And there's actually we call them micro labs. We've got a couple agents, Ty, you're one of them, that we are testing building a listing presentation of the future, a listing experience of the future. And we just started this. Can you kind of tell us what's going on there and what drove that and where we are?
Yeah. So the big driver behind that for us is we do a lot of competition with Redfin and Compass, and they go in, and in a market where we know the market better and we have more experience and we have more talent, we still lose sometimes because of the wow factor that they're able to deliver with, be it real time or be it, Panambic or like fake data. There's just a whiz bang that sellers are like, okay, great, I'll take it. And so what we've realized is we want to take our services, present them to a seller in a way where we can also contrast and give insight with real-time data so that we can provide more value in a much more tangible way than the competing agencies can.
Well, our big aha on that note, before we show this, our big aha was Redfin wins when they take their 3,000 plus agents, and how big's your team, Ty?
We're about 50 people right now, 32 agents.
It's a big team. But 3,000 plus Redfin agents, they dwarf that in size of volume and scale. And their big bet is, well, I can beat every single real estate team out there because we'll be the biggest. But when we unite as 180,000 strong, we become the Roman army. And so that's the power of this connected platform. And so the way that this works, and how long ago did we start this journey?
I think you approached me 13 days ago and said, hey, will you pilot this?
Yes. And you've actually seen now a prototype of what this will look like.
We did a first walkthrough of the prototype on Friday. We're doing a second one today. Like that's how fast this is moving.
And by the end of the month, you'll be taking a version of this to your clients.
Yep.
And this will be branded as you. And so what this is it puts the home that he's going to listing presentation for. We pulled all the data from previous MLS records, public data, and we put the first section that I paused too late up on top. Then we understand the neighborhood. So market snapshot, the 175,000 neighborhoods that we now have, we'll actually show them where this is. We're then doing a market analysis for that neighborhood right there with an interactive experience that the client can go through.
Yeah.
The cool part about this is we're actually then showing them their competition in that neighborhood. So we're able to go back in time and say, not in the city or zip code or a mile radius, but this neighborhood, here's what comparables have been doing both previously and currently on market.
And I don't know if we're jumping too far ahead on this, but I see Diana sitting in the front row. So logic makes us think, emotion makes us act, right? We're actually getting the seller involved.
Yes.
And so presenting them with data and helping them make a decision is one thing, but when they can actually come in and go, okay, well, so how does my house compare to this house? I don't know what house it is. I don't know what it's sold for, but I can actually say my house is better or worse than this qualitatively and then position themselves within that. Like now they're involved. So now they've started making the decision to work with you before they ever realize it.
So what Ty's talking about there, and we're still labbing the super raw, but the idea that when you get a lead from a seller, we immediately run off a plan that says, hey, I'm whatever your message is, would love to start the process, click this quick link. And when they click this quick link, we do this analysis at the back end that says, we want to understand your property better to make the most use of your time and our time. And they literally get to see all the kitchens on the market near them that are on the market, and we ask them, how does this kitchen compare to your kitchen? How does this living room compare to your living room? How does this backyard compare to your backyard? All of that gets packaged and sent back to you.
Yep. And now you're pricing the home based off of data instead of off of emotion.
100%, but something really, really interesting just happens. That seller is a part of the experience. And now when the next listing agent calls them, they've already started a process with you and they want to know what the answer to that question is. And so we've tested this and we understand that gets that listing lead more connected to you before you even have a conversation. And now your listing presentation isn't about a generic presentation. It's literally around their home and taking their home to the market. The other thing we're doing right now, and we're labbing this, we're testing this, is can we show them a real-time a price matrix that says, look, we have two options. We can have an aggressive pricing strategy or a conservative pricing strategy. And we're making a bet on how fast our home will sell. Because you'll see here, if we sell our house in 10 days, we'll make $400,000. If we sell our home in 40 days and we listed it there, it's going to drop way down because we're going to chase the market. So we've got to make a bet on when we're going to think that house is going to sell. The homes in this neighborhood, comparatively, over the last 120 days, have sold in 22 days. So seller, it'd be really interesting, but if you look, if we actually price it at $375, we won't have to do price reductions, and we'll actually make more money at that 22-day mark. So we can decide how we want to price this home, and actually use real data powered by all of us to have those conversations. And then to what you were saying, Sarah, because we have the ability to run these campaigns automatically, you can show up to the seller and says, and by the way, we've already targeted a direct mail campaign that when you sign with me, we'll fire it. It's going to be going off, and we'll be the fastest agent to be able to market your property because tomorrow morning there'll be just listed signs being shipped. And we have a social media campaign that's already been optimized, and we're ready to go. Just Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller, would you like to go? You've already configured all this. You didn't do any of the work. You literally just put in a property address, configured some of the parameters, and we built this interactive experience that you got to go and override and change. And then when you show up, you got a full program ready to go that they get to sign off on.
Yep. That's awesome. Josh, I think they say that like 65 or 70% of the population are S's and C's on the disc, and they want data. And what I love about what you said is, and you sort of like said it quickly, but you said you guys can focus on what to say, and then this is all that gets sent with what you say. And what I love is we get to focus on what we say. Like we don't have to focus on gathering all of this stuff to send them. It's all there. We get to focus on what we actually enjoy doing. Which is awesome.
When we do this and we bring these types of experiences together and we lab this, and then you guys take your ingenuity and your real estate expertise and layer this on top, it becomes untouchable. We don't get fearful over anyone at that point because we have the technology, we have the platform, we have the best agents on the planet.
Josh, to piggyback on what Sarah was saying, when you get them involved in ranking their kitchen versus the other kitchens, and now you're using that to come up with the pricing, now there's less pushback on, oh, but my house should be worth more. My house is different because, well, we actually base this pricing off the information that you gave us when compared to other houses in the market area.
That's exactly right.
Well, there's no storytelling anymore except for our story.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, I love that.
So last thing about this listing experience we're going to be testing is also...
The interesting thing is if you had a team, you'll now know every listing presentation that's being made. Mm-hmm. You'll know every marketing campaign that's being sent, and you'll also know the effectiveness of it. You'll also know the effectiveness of all the listing presentations and all the campaigns that are used through the system, and they'll come back and do a comparison back to you on an individual agent on your team basis and a team as a whole. How are you doing against... Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So now there's a meritocracy based on who we give the lead to, in our team, because this person performs better in this particular neighborhood or this price.
And this is the only way to scale a real estate business. This is why Ben yesterday, I think, on stage said, every listing presentation is the same nationwide. Because in order to get that scale, you have to have an operating platform that we can measure and look at everything at the same level. That's right. And that's our ultimate goal.
That's it.
The last thing is we're actually going to start mapping migration patterns both locally and nationally. So you're going to get to go to the listing presentation and say, hey, the number one source neighborhood, number two, number three source neighborhood that's moving into this neighborhood is X, Y, and Z. I've already started a campaign to those agents and to those consumers to make sure your home is right in front of those people. All righty. So with that, this one's not live yet. This one's not live yet. We're testing it in the month. If Ty blesses it, and a few of the other agents have done it, so if it doesn't come out, blame Ty.
No pressure.
But if Ty blesses it, we're then going to release this to you, everyone in this room, everyone that can make a camp, to start taking this to your clients and telling us how to make it better.